I can surely tell you that I'm going to regret this decision. Oh boy. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the workshop. It's fantastic to have you here as we get cracking on another project that is going to push the limits of what I know, push everything so much further. I'm excited to learn some more. Because as you have noticed from the title, I'm about to make a knife without a grinder. We're about to make a knife with a hand hammer and files. Files. What was I thinking? Before you say anything, yes, I forged out that block of steel under a power hammer. I'm sure you can appreciate I wasn't going to go ahead and hand hammer it out of that. Don't worry though, I didn't make it too easy on myself. It's still way too big and needs some breaking down. It's been a while since I swung a hand hammer, but we're getting right into it. Hopefully, we'll make it through the day. Okie dokie, so we've been making good progress here with the hand hammer that I just dropped, oh well. And basically what I'm trying to work to is getting my preform ready. We're going to be making an integral bolster, a little small, I don't know what you'd call it, it'll probably end up looking a little bit like a small hunting knife. And I've been using the edge of the hammer to form that division between the bolster. And I'm considering this the preform because I'm going to leave this thick, because we're about to flip this puppy around and forge out the tang before we go back around and forge in our bevels and get that blade totally finished. So now what we're going to do, we are using the hot cut hardy to cut this off before we flip it around and forge out our tang. To make things a little bit easier for myself, I'm going to forge a taper before we try and isolate it. I think we're going to go for a hidden tang construction with an integral bolster. I think that'll look rather nice. So now I'm going to try and work out where my transition is. This is tough though, because it means I've got to hit evenly with my hammer and the edge of my anvil, which is super duper difficult. That's where like a power hammer or a press is super duper useful, because those dies line up every time, supposedly. Okay, it's still a little rough in there. We're never going to get it super clean with the hand hammer, but I'm just inching my way back, making sure that we even it up, square it up, and neaten it up as we go. We're going to get that pretty close to ready, and then we're going to go back to the blade. Especially as we're starting to get close to the finished dimensions, it's always handy to brush. Now, of course, I've never done a knife like this before, so this is foreign territory. Thankfully, you know, it's forging. It's about moving material, displacing material. So those techniques are really, really transposable. You can take the techniques of forging and apply them to making a sharp knife shape. There's a lot of stuff I'm unfamiliar with and a lot of other stuff that goes into it. But certainly, I'm surprised as to how easily this is going. I've never made an integral without a power hammer. So long as I keep my hammer control and I make sure that I'm really inching my way up, back up to my mark and not going too far too fast, it seems to work out fine. And I think that we're going to be able to end up squaring it up neatly, and getting something pretty good out of this, even though we're using the hand hammer. And something you realize, I'm just working here. I'm hoping that this little series here gets you a little bit inspired, because we're going to be using basic tools that you have to do all of this, you know? And hey, I'm going to heat treat it in a forge. You can use a propane torch. You know, you can use a little map gash Bernzomatic torch. You'll notice when I'm making this, I'm using a hammer and the edges of an anvil. You don't need all of this. You don't need the expensive anvil with the horn and the hardy hole. That's just a block of steel that most steel suppliers will have as a drop. We could have done the same thing on there, provided it was mounted and it was stable. The key, really, is that you just kind of get stuck in and give it a try, because you're always going to be surprised at what you can accomplish, provided you practice, provided you get a good understanding of the fundamentals, and it's certainly always enjoyable to try this stuff. Oakley dokley, time for another heat. So now we are forging the bevels. Because we're going to be filing this, I want to bring this piece as close to the finished shape as possible. You'll notice I messed something up in my preform. I wasn't thinking, of course, I've done this before without this happening because I planned for it. I forged the bevel, and of course my tip's gone crazy on us because I forgot to point it down. So now I've got to fight that to get it the shape that we want. I want to come near the step as I forge that bevel, that way my hammer has clearance. You know, it's sometimes easier than come in here for the other side. We've got a little bit of a fold over occurring, a little cold shut, so we're going to take a rasp and work that out of there. There's no point us continuing with it there. We can form a deeper crack, and it means we're working to a fake profile because we're not accounting for where true metal starts. Since we're making this with a file, I need to be really careful that as forged, this thing is as straight as possible, because our ability to do stock removal fast, it goes down pretty fast as soon as we pick up a file and don't touch a grinder. So I want to make sure that we're bang on, everything's in line. Oh, I think we're pretty close. All right, let's give it a few more tweaks. Almost, almost. Okay, we're ready. It's now time for some normalizing cycles. Just imagine this cooling down a few more times. You'll get the idea of what the normalizing cycles look like. So just like that, hand forged, integral. That was super, super duper fun because I thought I would have a really, really difficult time working in these two shoulders, and it's not perfect. It's not at all as good or clean or neat as it would be with the power hammer, a treadle hammer, or a hydraulic press. But I learned a lot. And this is the reason why I want to make one of these by hand and even use the files is I know this is going to be, though a simpler knife, seriously, seriously educational. To do it the way that they have been doing it for millennia. To put aside all these fancy tools I have and go with the hand tools, go with the simple tools, get back to basics. I think I'm going to learn a lot. I hope you guys enjoy it. I also hope that you guys go and check out the new t-shirt. Of course, the Chris that I just made, it is the best thing that I have ever made to date. It's the thing that I'm the most proud of. It's the thing, of course, I put the most effort in. Never have I devoted myself so much to a project. Never have I had discipline like I had in the making of that project. And never have I learned as much as I did in this project. Notably, how much I don't know. It was stunningly enjoyable. I hope you go grab one of the Chris t-shirts. They're really, really beautiful. Jamie did a great job designing that up, taking the image and making it into something that just looks fantastic on a shirt. They're available now at the website, alecsteelshop.com. I'd be seriously grateful if you went and got one. It all helps to make these videos happen, make these knives get made, and keep us fully stocked with elbow grease. We're going to be needing a lot of elbow grease tomorrow. I can't wait to see you then. I hope you have a fantastic day. Until then, I'll catch you very soon. Bye-bye.